we're here today with Tobias, and Tobias is our educator here at the Science Center. He's a non-venomous pine snake. Would you like to touch him, Mouth? Okay, with a snake, when you touch one, you're not going to go near his head, but you're going to touch him from his... There you go.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
He's very scaly.
Yeah. This kind of snake has got different scales than normally you would. Sometimes when you're touching a python or a boa constrictor, they feel kind of more soft and more silky, but he has what's called keel scales. His scales kind of sit on top of each other, so he feels a little bit more rough, doesn't he? Feel him underneath though. Feel how soft he is under there. Isn't that cool?
Wow.
Yeah. He's very active right now because this is the day when he gets his food. So today, on a Saturday, is the day when we feed him 2 small mice.
Oh. Now, how does he hunt for his prey, like in the wild?
Right, in the wild, what he's going to do is going to use his tongue to actually taste the environment. You see how he's doing that now? And he's sticking his tongue out, and everybody's got what's called pheromones. So you have your individual scent. He's going to taste you, and he's going to pull his tongue into his mouth, flicker in his top of his mouth, which is called the Jacobson organ, and that's what he's going to be able to distinguish what he's tasting. This is why snakes have that forked tongue, so that if it's really strong over here, he says, oh, but he knows you're too big for him. He wouldn't go after you. He's going to look for things like mice and maybe rats, small insects, things like that, even other snakes. So, and he's classed as a constrictor.
What does that mean?
It means that, like he's doing on my hand, he would actually wrap around his prey and squeeze it to death. But we give him dead mice, so he doesn't need to squeeze his food.
And how big is he?
He is pretty long right now. He's 9 years old and he's already over 5 feet. We actually have one of his molts, which means when he starts to grow, he's going to leave his skin behind. And yeah, there you go. Look at that. He's actually taller than you now. All right. So we know that if he was going to get ready to molt, leave his skin behind, his eyes wouldn't be the color they are now. They would be white, milky colored. And we wouldn't touch him because he wouldn't be able to see us. It would be kind of cloudy for him. And if that was the case, he may be more defensive. And you know what he does, Mouth?
What does he do?
He moves his tail and he'll hiss really loudly.
Like a rattlesnake.
Exactly. He mimics a rattlesnake. That's pretty cool, isn't it? And he kind of looks like a rattlesnake, doesn't he? Hello. But he's a Florida pine snake, and he would be hiding out in the Florida pine needles. He's very active, isn't he? Look at that. Yeah. Would you like to hold the back end of him? Put your hands out like that. There you go. There we go. How's that? Look at that. He's pretty strong, isn't he? Yeah, I'll keep his head over here. You don't have to worry about his head. Wow. There we go. So... pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
All right. So we have another type of a snake right in front of you over here. You want to help me with the 18-foot long snake?
Sure.
Here we go. If you want to lift this one up right here and just kind of sit it on your knee. Check this out, guys.
Oh my goodness.
You can hardly hold it. Look at that. It's bigger than you are. So this, where are you behind there? This one is the hide. So this is not the shed or the molting. This is an actual dead snake. This is an anaconda, Mouth.
I've heard those are the biggest snakes in the world.
They are the heaviest, yeah. And he has to actually live in the water because he's too heavy to live on the land. Tobias is really active right now. So the snake that you have on your knee, there you go, the anaconda, is also, like Tobias, a non-venomous constrictor. And we know what that means, squeezing his prey. Do you like chicken nuggets?
Yes.
What about snake nuggets?
I've never tasted them.
I bet they're pretty good, actually. But this snake was alive over 75 years ago, and it came from the Amazon. A lady gave it to us. Her mom and dad were missionaries in the 1940s in the Amazon. And, you know, the people over there, they don't have Walmart, Publix, Winn-Dixie like we do. They wouldn't be able to just go to the grocery store. They would have to go out and catch the food that they like to eat. And this would feed a pretty big tribe. It's probably about 300 pounds of snake nuggets right there.
Oh, wow.
That's pretty amazing, isn't it?
So how big can the anacondas get?
It's, a variable to maybe 15 to 25 feet.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. We have snakes here in Florida that, whoop, there we go, put it down on the ground. Here, I'll give you this one. Here's a picture here. Look at that one. This was one of the Florida Fish and Wildlife officers, and we have a problem down in the Everglades and areas. Sometimes animals are either released or they get into the environment and they're not supposed to be there. They're what's called invasive. That means that they maybe are an exotic too. They come from a different place, but if they're invading, they're taking over. And we have a big problem down in the Everglades with the Burmese python, and that's one of the pictures they actually did a roundup. Can you see the picture of that long snake?
Yeah.
Right there? It's pretty amazing.
They're constrictors as well, aren't they?
Mm-hmm. Yes, exactly. Yep. The one that we have here, there we go. Now, look at that one. Woo!
Oh.
I know, we're getting a bit crazy here, aren't we, Mouth? That's okay. So that is another molting, another shedding. And this one is a red Tail Boa. Get this. This one was found about 3 miles underneath somebody's porch, 3 miles away from the Marine Science Center in Wilbur.
Wow.
Somebody lost a pet that day, didn't they? There was a big pile of possum poop right next to it, so we know he'd had a good meal. But that was a pretty long snake, isn't it?
Yeah. How do you get invasive species?
Well, sometimes if people have pets, maybe it could be a turtle or a snake, and they don't want them anymore. A lot of the times people don't realize that it's not a good thing to let them go into the wild. They think, oh, well, my turtle lives in a pond, maybe I should go let him in the local pond. Or maybe my snake should go back in the wild. Do you think it's a good idea? You're right, it's not. No, it's not a good idea to let a pet go in the wild, because as I say, this is a Florida snake, so if we have other snakes taking over his environment, it's not going to be good for him, is it? No. He's pretty cool. We also know he's a male, and I don't know whether we can do that. He's giving me a snake bracelet. Look at this. Underneath his tail, you can actually see that little pink, see the pink part right there?
Yeah.
That's his anal slit, that's his bum, that's where he poops. And this is actually a long way from here all the way down to the end, so we can tell he's a male. If it was short and stubby, it would be a girl.
Oh.
But also, I don't know whether you can see there, you see how the patterns change from here to here?
Yes.
That's non-venomous. If it was all the same all the way down, it would be a venomous snake.
So like a diamondback is a venomous snake.
Yes, that's right, yeah. Yeah. And we got one more thing. Are you ready?
Yes.
All right, put that one down. We'll get another one. Here we go. All right. You'll be ready to teach the snake presentation soon, like you did with the the coral reef, right? Okay, so look at this. So what have we got on here, Mouth?
I can see coral snakes, king snakes, black racers.
Wow, you know a lot about your snakes, huh? That's pretty impressive. So on here we have non-venomous and venomous. So on the two sides, these are snakes that, all snakes, everything with a mouth, like we said, anything with a mouth could potentially bite you. So you want to be very careful of the mouth. And in the wild, if you ever see a snake, you should never pick it up, right? You should never kill it, but never pick it up. Just let it be on his way. But he's never been in the wild. He's always been an educator with people, so he's very used to being handled. So it's okay that we actually show him. But these would be out in the forest, in the grasslands, in areas. But look at this. On both sides, some of these look the same, don't they? So even if it's a non-venomous, it may mimic or look like a venomous snake. You see these two with the same patterns, the
Like
same
the
colors?
coral and
Yeah,
the king snake.
yeah. Red, black, and yellow. There's a little rhyme about that. Do you remember what that is?
I think that it is red touch yellow, kill a fellow, red touch black, you're okay, Jack.
Very good. That was pretty good. And if you can't remember the rhyme, always look for the black head. That's an indication it's that venomous one. But again, you should never really touch them. But yeah, even this is one of our most common. It's the black racer here in Florida. And they're the ones that, they call them racers because they're really fast. But they'll sit in the top of the bushes and they'll look out like this and they'll be looking. But they can be kind of mean sometimes. You know, they're very aggressive. They're just trying to protect themselves. But when they are juveniles, which means when they're babies, they kind of resemble a pygmy rattler. So, yeah. So a lot of the times people will say, oh, we found a rattlesnake, but it's actually a juvenile or a baby black racer.
Oh, wow.
He's pretty cool, isn't he?
Yes.
He's a great educator. He's been with us for about 4.5 years now. We love him. He's just really cool. He's definitely. Are you ready for your dinner? And what we're going to do after we feed him today, Mouth, is when he has his two little mice, we can't touch him again until he does something. Do you know what that would be?
No, I'm not sure.
We have to wait till he poops. So we have to wait till he digests his food, because snakes have such strong acid that they can actually, when they eat the mouse, they eat everything, and they digest bones and the fur, and it actually goes all the way through and it comes out at the
I
other
don't think
end.
I'd like to digest fur.
I know, right? Ooh, we don't eat the bones, do we? But he can, because he's got such strong acid. So we want to make sure he's very comfortable, so that's why we wouldn't touch him. So every day, about Tuesday or Wednesday is when he poops. Then we'll be able to touch him again after that. He's pretty cool, isn't he? Go ahead. He feels so awesome, doesn't he?
His scales are really rough.
Yeah, it's that keel scales. He says, ooh, I like that. Good stuff. All right, guys. Well, thanks for visiting us, and thanks for asking me all the questions, Mouth. That was great.